Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku joined the League of Villains for Revenge Part 1. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see Part 2, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵𝗃 from WhatIf. So let's start the video. Just pray you'll have a quirk in your next life and take a swan dive off the roof of the building. That idiot. You can't just go around telling people to kill themselves. What if I really jumped? What would he do then? I was walking along the road and a sludge villain appeared in front of me. He started talking about a hero in town and how he was going to use me as a skin suit. I could barely breathe as he started to force his way into my body. As I was giving up hope, I heard the words that I never thought I would hear in person. Have no fear, you are safe. Now that I am here, that is. All Might, the #1 hero, my idol, was here to save me. I blacked out as he Texas smashed the sludge villain. Time skipped to the rooftop scene. That wasn't a smart move there. Bang on the door for a while and someone will let you in. Now I have to go. All Might said. I must admit, it was stupid of me to grab onto him when he was taking off. Wait, I need my question answered. No. Even if I don't have a quirk, can I become a hero? Can someone without a quirk become someone like you? He stopped before he jumped. Becoming a hero hasn't been my goal for a long time, but sometimes, like now, the thought crosses my mind. You want to be a hero without a quirk? Kid, in the world of quirks you can't possibly be a hero. You nearly died a few minutes ago. There are villains with quirks that can kill you in an instant. Just give up on your dream and go home. Give up on your dream and go home. Those were the last words he said to me before he leaped into the air to take the villain to the police department. Maybe they are right. This is no world for a quirkless boy like me. Maybe I should just take his advice and jump. It would be a quick death. A fall from this height has low chances of survival, so there is a good chance that the attempt will end in success. I look over the edge. The traffic of pedestrians is low at this time, so I also won't hurt anyone if I did jump. I'm not going to lie either. This isn't the first time I've thought of ending it all. If I'm going to go through with it, this time I need to do it now when the chances of failure is low. I step into the ledge and look down again. Well, here goes nothing. Goodbye, quirkless life, is the last words I say before I lean forward. I close my eyes as I begin to fall. I feel the wind hit my face as gravity pulls me down. The last thing I feel is my bones breaking as I hit the pavement below. I've finally done it. I've finally escaped. 𝗵𝗃𝗬, if I'm ever going to make it into UA, I need to finish studying for the entrance exams. I know that I've already passed all of the mock test, but if they change something last minute, I need to be ready. Hello. Damn it, you hack, can't you stay off of the phone for one day? He what? Oh my god, that's terrible, I'll be there shortly. She started to run around the house frantically grabbing stuff. What could be so important this time? My answer came a second after that thought. Mitsubi, I am running to the hospital. 𝗵𝗃𝗬 just called. Izuku jumped off a building. This few words hit me harder than any strength quirk ever could. Even harder than All Might could. It's my fault. I told him to do that and the idiot actually tried. You coming? I jumped up and ran to the car with her. If anything, I should at least apologize to him. It won't change anything, but I can't have this on my conscience. His body lay there limp. He was all bandaged up and hooked to a lot of annoying machines. This is all my fault. I shouldn't have told him to do it. If I knew those could have been my last words to him, I would have chose them differently. All Might hero. Latest villain attacks. More heroes. Does anything else ever come on the news? It's like nothing else ever happens in this world. Today we have something different for you all. Oh, it's this. A quirkless boy that goes by the name of Izuku Midoriya tried to commit suicide. By some miracle he was spared. Right now he is at the hospital recovering from the injuries. Isn't that the boy from earlier? The one who was asking if he could be a hero too. That building they're showing, that's where I left him. Did I say something wrong? I just told him the truth. Was that kid going through something else? Did I push him over the edge? A hero is supposed to save lives, not cause suicide. Izuku, 3 days later, where am I? It feels like I was hit by a truck. Why is someone crying? I just can't understand it. Why would you want to die? Oh yeah, that's why I hurt. Looks like I failed. Why am I always in the minority? Hey Inko, it's almost time to go. He wants a few minutes alone with Izuku today. I know that voice. What's she doing here? Just one more minute. I hear the door close and my mother starts talking again. I keep my eyes closed to hear what she has to say. I don't know if you can hear me, Izuku, but please wake up soon. A lot of people are waiting for you. Even All Might paid a visit yesterday. Said he saw you the day you did this. He told me he didn't understand why a lively boy like you would do such a thing. Please wake up, Izuku. Even All Might wants you to. He just wants me to wake up to clear his conscience. He knows he's partially responsible. I'll be back tomorrow, Izuku. I heard her footsteps receding and the door opening. He's all yours. Who is it this time? You probably don't even want me here. You're not wrong. Wait, did that come out of my mouth or stay in my head? How long have you been awake? Did he just let out a laugh? Well, can't fake it now. I slowly open my eyes and let them adjust to the room. Why did you do it? I didn't mean it literally. I just wanted you to quit getting in my way, you stupid nerd. Oh yay, more name calling. If I had succeeded, I would have been out of your way for good. Out of your way, out of the hero's way, out of all of the quirk users' way. Even All Might said that this isn't a world for people like me. I got attacked by a villain and couldn't do anything. I was helpless. Great, now I'm crying. I'm crying in front of the person who pushed me towards the edge. That doesn't matter. Do you know how worried everyone has been because you made a stupid mistake? Stop yelling. If you had died, it would have crushed your mother, the only one who would care. You just don't want to deal with my death being on your hands. Get out. He looked shocked. I said get out. He stormed out a second later. I heard him telling my mother not to come in and his explosions going down the hall out of anger. What am I supposed to do now? I can't even succeed at dying. I told the nurse not to let All Might or 𝗵𝗃𝗃 visit. My mom stopped visiting by the third day I was awake. She said something about me not being the same boy as before and dipped. Hey Izuku, you have a visitor. Is their name on the list of rejects? I asked the nurse. No. She said, then let them in. A guy with very chapped lips came in and sat down. Before explaining who he was, he sent a text. How rude. When the nurse left, the guy started talking. Hello Izuku Midoriya. My name is 𝗬𝗵𝗲. It's an honor to meet you in person. Where the? All I did is jump from a building. I believe this belonged to you before you jumped. He pulled my notebook out of an inside pocket of his jacket. For some reason he wasn't holding it like a normal person though. You can destroy it. I don't want to see it. Oh, but why would I destroy a villain gold mine? Your stuff in here that could help a villain take down plenty of heroes. So this guy is a villain, huh? What is a villain doing in my hospital room? I'm here to ask you to join us. After you're done healing, that is. So he's a recruiter. Not interested. Just let me die in peace. Or you could help speed up the process. You wouldn't be the first villain to take a whack at the quirkless piñata. I'll come back tomorrow. Think about it, Izuku. Your brains on our side could change the hero world forever. He left before I could even comprehend what he said. Next day, there's a door, I say to the villain that just stepped out of a portal. Yes, a portal. I prefer not to show my face too much. Understandable. But if a nurse were to walk in. Also, I wanted to introduce you to the person who would be taking care of you if you agreed to join us. Izuku, meet 𝗬𝗃𝗃. The portal guy. Yeah. Enough with the formalities. I told you no yesterday and my answer stands today. A look of disappointment spread across his face. I wouldn't be of that much use to you guys. I can't fight and I don't have a quirk. At best, I'm just the fanboy who can take good notes. Charming. We can deal with the fighting problem. The notes is what makes you useful. You have the look of a fanboy, so heroes won't question you watching their fights. Believe it or not, boy, you being quirkless might just make you more powerful than all of us. More powerful? As if. Tell me, 𝗬𝗵𝗲, your quirk, it's a touch quirk, right? How did you, yesterday when you got out my old notebook, you were really careful about it. When texting your coordinates to, I'm assuming, 𝗬𝗍𝗧𝗏, you held your pinkies away from the phone. So what I'm assuming is you have a touch quirk. One that can easily destroy things. A moment of silence. You could easily fix the problem by wearing partial gloves. I told you you're powerful. You took one conversation with me and found out my quirk without me even displaying it. I still don't know your quirk. I just know the basics of it. Let's make a deal. You get me out of this hospital and I consider joining your emo band, okay? That's all I needed. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 will be itching to meet you. Great, the psycho has a 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟. The two came over and shut off the machines so they wouldn't make noises. Then they unhooked me so they could take me away from here. 𝗬𝗓𝗧𝗏 formed a portal letting me step through. A second later I was standing in an old, run-down bar. You got the boy. Congratulations. A deep voice rang out across the room. Now that sounds like a villain. Maybe he knows how I can deal with people like 𝗬𝗏 and All Might. Mister, you're up. The boy said he would consider joining us. Guess this guy is powerful. 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏's voice changed to one of respect and is not at all like the one he used to convince me. Tell me, boy, what caused you to jump? Oh, so he's talking to me now. Years of people treating me like I'm useless. Just because he's powerful, I'm not going to change my voice. I'm still annoyed. Would you like to get revenge on those people? We can help you with that. Our main goal here is to destroy the person who is holding this society up. The symbol of peace. I couldn't help the smirk that stretches across my face. Now that is something I'd like to help with. Dang, from your book you seemed like the ultimate All Might fan. What did he do to you? 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏 asked. Let's just say he's the one who gave the final push. So what can you guys do to help? I asked in the direction of the voice. So you will join. But I think we can use you as a spy. But first let's give you something to use as a weapon. Bring the boy to me. Time skip if I wasn't sore before I am now. Whatever this guy did to me, it's painful. There is a humming running through my body. Didn't that teacher say that's what a quirk feels like? Shut up. You will go by the name of Shadow from now on in the villain world. When out and about you go by your normal name. This guy is even more intimidating in person. 𝗬𝗓𝗧𝗏 will train you to use your new power. This power should be enough to get you in, so learn how to use it. 𝗬𝗓𝗧𝗏, take him away now. I need to recuperate. Wow, no explanation for what the power is or what he did to me. The portal engulfed me before I could ask. Shigaraki was waiting for us on the couch. He looked annoyed that he was told to stay behind. I guess it makes sense. What happened, 𝗬𝗓𝗧𝗏? 𝗬𝗓𝗧𝗏 must be a nickname. He gave the boy a quirk. The quirk allows him to manipulate shadows and use them to attack, possess, and defend. Wait, that guy did give me a quirk. Well, kid, do you know the basics of how to use a quirk like that? I nodded. Well then give it a go. Not yet. He stared at me for a minute, then shook his head. You were quirkless your whole life, yet the moment you get one you don't even want to try it. Idiot thinks I'm actually serious. I'm trying it. Based on what 𝗬𝗓𝗧𝗏 said, this quirk works with the shadows, so I need to focus on the shadows to use my quirk and try to get them to move. The thing is, I don't know how to move the shadows. Try moving your fingers. 𝗬𝗓𝗧𝗏 whispered so only I could hear it. He knows what's up. I moved my pointer finger in my left hand and something moved. Like, seriously, try it. We need to know where you stand right now so you can improve. The shadow is moving based on what finger I use. My pointer makes it move left, middle makes it move down, ring is right, and pinky is up. But that's only on the wall. Why is the shadows on the ground not moving? Are you even listening to me? I snap back into the conversation. Oh, sorry. I've got a headache. I use my right hand to point to my head and notice the shadows on the floor JRK in the same direction. Oh, so left is for elevated surfaces, right is for the ground. So what if you have a headache? You agreed to join and got a quirk. You need to take this seriously. One small screw up and I had been moving the shadows and found out that I can remove them from surfaces. Currently one is wrapped around his mouth. I'm not an idiot, 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏. You said that yourself. I released my fist, how I got it to grab him, and the shadows went back to where they were. Of course I was going to try out my quirk, but I wasn't going to let my test subject know. The warp gate said that it can be used to attack, so of course that's the first thing I try. I swear if looks could kill I'd be 6 feet under. This guy does not like being a test subject. Well, If he kills me, I won't have to worry about dealing with annoyances like 𝗏𝗏 anymore. It was nice knowing your quirk. Okay, so I'm not dead. Yeah, good way to start off a chapter. Tell the world you once again failed to die. Guess that's the life of a main character. Fourth wall mucho sorry. So anyways, he didn't kill me, obviously. All he did was mildly scold me about how I should respect his authority and yada yada yada. I start training with 𝗧𝗪𝗧 tomorrow on how to not only use my quirk but how to fight without it as well. Mention that there is a guy out there with a quirk to put an end to your quirk by looking at you. Of course I know him. He is in hero analysis number 3. Right now though I'm going out to retrieve those. 𝗬𝗪𝗧 lent me his jacket because, guess what, the hospital alerted the police to my disappearance already. This means I have to be careful cause 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗟 can only put me somewhere if he knows the coordinates. I already figured that. Out at the hospital though. He dropped me off behind a grocery store near my school. Based on the time they should release class soon, so I have to hurry. This is the pickup spot and once school lets out, kids like to hang around this place. I make my way to the place I called home for long, obviously can't anymore because I am definitely not mama's little boy anymore. Once I arrive I go around back and find the window to my old room. Thank goodness I leave the window unlocked. I open it and sneak inside. My backpack is sitting near the door. The police must have given it to her after the fall. Oh well, I need to use it. I open it up and start shoving all of the hero analysis notebooks into the small bag. I grab a few more notebooks in case I need them in the future. I take one last look around my old room before sliding out the window. Right after I close it, the bedroom door opens. I jump into a nearby bush just before the window is slammed open. Mom looks around for the person who obviously just snuck out of the house. After a minute of me holding my breath, she sighs and gives up her search. That was too close. Guess I can't take my normal route back to the grocery store. Great, school let out while I was hiding. Now I have to wait until they all leave and hopefully not get seen. As I'm waiting around the corner, I catch a conversation that was worth the wait. I sure hope they catch Midoriya. At this rate he may become a villain. At this rate I already have. That demon nerd would never become a villain. So the annoying 𝗏𝗏 is here today. Are you so sure about that? The failed jump may have messed up his brain a little. You even said he got the nerve to yell at you. Something definitely is wrong up there. I thought I said before that we don't talk about Deku. He's not worth our time. As long as he doesn't die it doesn't matter. Wow, you got some big boy shorts, huh? Just because I'm quirkless I ain't worth your time, 𝗧𝗏𝗏. You just seemed a little disturbed when the newscaster said he was kidnapped from his room. I'm not worried, okay? It's taking everything in me to not jump in on the conversation. If I do, my cover is blown and I still don't have complete faith in my new quirk to fight him. Geez man. Okay, we won't talk about him. The UA exams is coming up soon. How do you feel? I bet he's going to say something about it being too easy. Too easy? There's no way I will fail the exam. What did I tell ya? 10 minutes of random rambling later and the store was once again slow. Finally I can leave. I couldn't while people were here cause I could have gotten caught. Well, this was an eventful trip. The only problem with this fight training is I still haven't figured out how to stop this quirk. Sometimes when I am fighting the shadows will come out to play. It constantly gets me in trouble. Okay, maybe we should work on your quirk. That's the second time you've knocked out Shigaraki during our training. I actually did that on purpose because he was calling out stupid buttons as if I was a video game character. I can't say that though. Not when I finally get to do what I want. Okay, let's do this. I'm ready to learn how to fully control this quirk. 3.5 hours of training later and I have finally figured out how to control it completely. I already knew the hand thing. I knew how to capture people too, and obviously how to knock them out. Now I know how to turn the quirk off and how to possess someone. I possessed Shigaraki's limp body and made him decay a couple of glasses. 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗟 was not amused by that, but it's good to know that I can use other people's quirks during the possession. I swear if that boy keeps attacking me he will be dead. Looks like the crispy boy is up. It was an accident, Shigaraki. Anyways, we worked on it while you unconscious. Giri got my back. He lied on my behalf. I get up and head to the door after grabbing Shigaraki's giant hoodie. They look at me weird. Just before they could ask, I told them I'm going out for a bit to gather intel. It's about time I started to do my job. So kind of short. I mainly wanted to find a way to get him to figure out part of his quirk. So anyways, our little Deku is getting serious. 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 POV entrance exams are beginning to start for various schools. UA's is in a few days. I'm exercising my rights as a fanfic writer for the story. If I get in, when I get in, I'll be one step closer to achieving my goal. Deku still hasn't been found. I have heard tell from the police that they may just pronounce him as killed by villains. I'm not sure, but I thought I saw a flash of his green hair a few days ago at the general store. I almost went to check it out, but I was worried I was wrong. I must admit, it is boring without him. If this was one of those weird shows on TV, he would probably be the main character. He's certainly got the proper backstory. Different from the rest of the world, like the chosen one. Worst of luck sort of deal. And me, I would probably be labeled as the bully. But if this was a stupid show, Deku wouldn't have jumped in the first place. If this was a show, someone would come up and save him in the end. He would be here challenging me. He would be working to defeat the bully. But this isn't a show. This is real life, and in real life problems aren't magically solved, so heroes come to solve the problems. Maybe if All Might was there, he would have saved Deku. That's why I'm here at the police station. I'm here to try and get them to let me work behind the scenes to try and find the main character. Instead of the main character coming to challenge the bully is going to go and make the main character challenge them. He's ready to see you now. It's time for the bully to have his redemption arc * time skip because your author is lazy *. I can't let you do that. He may have been your friend, but if I let an outsider work a case that is about to close, it would be going against regulations. Screw regulations. I need to properly apologize. A commotion is heard outside. The secretary is heard telling someone to wait. A second later, an elderly, weak, old man is slamming open the door. You can't close the Midoriya case? Who the F is this guy? Why does he care about the DMN nerd? Oh, you had someone in here? Why are you both so interested in this case? I may have something to do with his little fall. We both say at the same time. What the F did this old man do? Okay, you seem like a JRK, so I'm not going to question you, but All Might. What did you do? All Might. I may have been on the roof with him. And he asked me something. I gave him an answer he probably didn't want. I didn't want to give him false hope. I don't care what that old man has to do with this. I want to find him. The UA exam is in a few days and I want a clear conscience when I get in. The officer rolled his eyes. Fine, whatever. You can work with All Might to find the boy. But if you guys can't find him by the end of the school year, I will close this case. Thank you. That's all the time I'll need. Oh, and 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏, this form of his is a secret. Keep it that way. You both have less time than you think. All Might with your teaching, and 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏, if you get into UA you will need to study a lot. There's no if about it. I will get in. I say before grabbing the case file he held out. Well, I guess I'm working with weak Might. Oh ho ho, All Might and 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 are teaming up. So they plan to hunt me down. Let's make this a game, shall we? This file probably has a picture of my real face. Plus they both have met me. A little hair dye and makeup for me. Or, as I learned before, I can use the shadows like Kurohige does his mist. Hey look, I'm you. I laughed while the shadows danced around me. Kurohige rolled his misty portal eyes. He was not amused. Be serious for once. He said when I shaped the shadows into a goatee. I used the shadows to form my hair into spikes next. This could be great for disguises. Yeah, that was fun. No wonder the class liked having quirks. But right now I can't have fun right now, I have to make sure they don't find me. To the general store I go. 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏's POV, I flipped through the case file. There ain't SHT in here. No sightings, no clues, not even AF hair was found. No wonder they were ready to give up. Anything useful? All Might asked. Of course not, old man. The police ain't got SHT on Deku. Stupid nerd has been using his brain for something other than stalking heroes. I may have seen him a few days ago at the general store though. Let's go there first. I slipped the file into my backpack. I went to the station right after school, so I didn't drop it off at home. We got to the general store and I went around the corner to examine the area that I saw him at. Nothing. Not a single thing. Only beer bottles and cigarettes, and unless he had taken up drinking or smoking, there's nothing we could use. Wait, what's this? I pull a piece of paper from my bag and a pencil. I hold the paper against the wall and start to lightly rub the pencil across the paper. A hidden message. Give up. I give up. How did you know that was there? Oh, I forgot that he was here. It's how we used to send each other messages as kids. We would carve out 2 vertical lines and 1 diagonal line to show where the message is. Look over there. 2 of them. It's your fault, your time draws near, the second one is newer. Is he really that mad? I know I'm the bully in this story, but 𝗵𝗃. He's supposed to play the part of the timid boy turns into a strong hero. This is almost villainous. What did you do to that young boy? Oh, like you had nothing to do with this. If I was you, I'd be worrying about how he's going to deliver his message to you. You haven't established a form to secretly communicate with him. That's when I saw it. Around the corner, on a giant wall, in green spray paint, was a single phrase signed by 𝗬𝗏. Give up on your dreams and go home. 𝗬𝗏, I take it that's what you said to him? He nodded. Why would 𝗬𝗏 say something like that? Symbol of peace, my butt? A crowd had gathered now. People have started to notice. This is bad. Welcome back. Looks like you did a little shopping while you were out. So what intel did you get during your shopping trip? Well, I heard from someone when I got to the main street that my case was being closed. They were going to report me as dead. Then I went to the station and sat outside of the officer's window. 𝗬𝗏 is allowed to work my case until the end of next month. Also, 𝗬𝗏 has a weakened form that makes him look like an old man, and he is taking a teaching position at UA. Since I plan on going out more, I ran to the store to get a disguise. A little hair dye and makeup. I also left my dear old friends a little message. I said, ending with a smirk. The TV suddenly turned on. Looks like 𝗵𝗃𝗲's awake. It looks like my message was discovered as well. It's all over the screen. A ton of people have gathered to view this message from 𝗬𝗏. The camera panned over the crowd and I recognized a few people. 𝗏𝗏, a few other classmates, and 𝗬𝗏. The message is telling everyone to give up on their dreams. The main question we here at the station are asking is, has the symbol of peace given up on us all? How they actually think he put that? It's just what he said to me. I was just letting him know I remember. This is rich. Look at 𝗏𝗏's face. He looks terrified. I point out who 𝗏𝗏 is to the others. He's looking towards 𝗬𝗏. Go gauge his reaction. 𝗬𝗏 looks worries. Are you sure you ever really wanted to be a hero? I looks like you've been planning 𝗬𝗏's fall for a while. Shigaraki almost sounded impressed. I have one question about the spray paint. That's near the general store. If you bought the paint and then used it right after, the owner could simply tell the police it was you. Did you think of that? 𝗬𝗧𝗟𝗘 out to ruin my fun. I'm too young to buy it myself anyways, so I paid someone else to buy it and they gave it to me after I carved the note for 𝗏𝗏. I'm not stupid. The boy thought of 𝗬𝗏. Did you say carve? I nodded. Secret messages from I. It's the way I sent him messages as a grade schooler. They mumbled something while nodding. 𝗬𝗏 just arrived on scene. It looks like the crowd is attacking him. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟, he thought an angry mob wouldn't happen. Well, that's enough enjoyment for me. I'm going to go figure out how to use this stuff. You two keep me updated on whether or not he survived the mob. And with that I make my grand exit. A lovely time skip from your lazy author. Several days go by with nothing to be found except for a couple more notes. I already took my entrance exam and guess what? I got in. 𝗬𝗏 still can't show his face outside without being swarmed by angry citizens, so he has to stay in his weakened form when we go out to look for Deku. Ugh, why hasn't he left anything else for us? He obviously knows we are looking and is toying with us. All we have is a few measly notes. I slump down into the ground, my back resting against the wall of an old-looking bar. Maybe he doesn't want to be found. Don't say. Sarcasm laced in my voice. A young kid just walked into the bar. Why would a kid go into a bar? Hey, aren't you a little young? 𝗬𝗏 asked the kid. The kid just flipped him off. I like his attitude. He looks a little familiar though. Hey old man, he turned towards me. Let's go in and check the place out. That kid looks familiar, but I don't know why. He nodded to me. In we go. Deku, they may come in though, so be careful of what you say. Call me Hyde. I'll call Shigaraki Yukio. And 𝗬𝗲𝗄 you are 𝗧𝗪. I whispered. The door opened just as 𝗬𝗲𝗄 handed me a drink. Ah, some new customers. What may I get for you? 𝗵𝘃𝗲 sat beside me and 𝗷𝗵𝗃 on his other side. Shigaraki saw how I tensed up and sent me a look that said not now. Surprise us. It's my boy's first time and I want it to be a surprise. I let out an inhuman sound. This is definitely not his first time. Got a problem with that? 𝗵𝘃𝗲 snapped at me. I don't see your dad treating you to anything. Oof, trying to be a big man. Nah, instead I'm celebrating the anniversary of his death with his favorite beverage. It is true. Now if he remembers that my dad did die on this day, my cover may be blown. How'd he die? Insensitive. Don't make hide, I stopped Shigaraki. It's fine, Yukio. I'll tell them. You both know the great symbol of peace, right? I saw 𝗷𝗵𝗃 tense up at how I said his name with such hate. They both nodded. Well, my dad worked with a group of 5 to 6 male vigilante workers. They called themselves the unlucky few. Ah, so you know them? Well, then you know how they were attacked by a villain the day of the vinegar incident. Well, because the great symbol of peace was too busy swimming in vinegar, they all died. No other hero was around cause they were all dealing with other villains. Quite frankly, I think he deserves what he deserves. What's happening? The rest of the heroes deserve a little heat too. I take a sip of my drink and 𝗬𝗲𝗄 hands the other 2 drinks. I'm sorry about what happened to your father. The guy I called my second father also died that day. So he does have a heart. Oh well, I am celebrating the life he had beforehand. Leave the mourning to the widow. Mom is probably clutching the old photo album right now. It's been several years since that day. Hey Satoshi, line M up. Let's see how this boy can handle his alcohol. If that's all right with his father, that is. I don't let my old man stop us. I now know why you looked familiar. You were at the unlucky funeral. Come on, Satoshi. Had too easy. But 𝗵𝘃𝗲𝗄, you start UA tomorrow. Whatever. I'll just eat the hangover breakfast and call it good. Ah, the hangover breakfast. I remember it well. I'm not exactly a goody-goody. Kurojiiri filled 6 shot glasses each for us. Loser pays. He says with confidence. You're on. He'll be down by round 5. Called it. He hasn't built up the tolerance I have in the past few days. Now he's crying over me. He always did become truthful when drunk. And then he went and won it. I didn't mean for in to take it seriously. I had to act like I was seriously concerned. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 also got a little tipsy. And now me and 𝗷𝗵𝗃, who apparently also is a cause for Izuku's attempted suicide, are working for the police to find him. I just want to apologize. You know, for a second when I saw you come in, I thought you might be him. I can't believe I was so stupid. How can I become a hero if I can't even find the only one who ever understood me? Now he's bawling. If I wasn't so determined to make him feel pain, I'd come out and tell the truth, but nah. The only thing I can do is comfort him and act like someone else. 𝗵𝘃𝗲, oh, my head is killing me. Why is someone slamming doors this early in the morning? What's that heavenly smell? A tray with a note on it beside the hangover breakfast. Oh, so I got drunk. Makes sense. Based on my phone, it's almost time for me to leave for school. Thanks for the apology, Kachin, but you're not forgiven. Not until you pay. Deku, might want to hurry and eat. You need to leave soon. A kid came in while you were drunk last night. Told me to give you that note and make that meal for you. It was the kid I saw last night. I remember a challenge and then I draw a blank. Where am I asked. My room. You were too drunk and your father is too weak to carry you, so he entrusted you to me. Now eat and leave. I have school too. I quickly wolfed down the food. I can't stay too long. While getting dressed, somehow my clothes got here, I heard talking. You know what you have to do. It was that guy, Yukio, I think. What's he doing at Hyde's house? Yes, I am aware of my task. I will get it done. You can count on me. Don't have too much fun without me. Something is off. Hyde isn't doing anything bad, is he? Deku, I get in a UA uniform. That's right, I'm a student in the hero course. I was told by 𝗵𝘃𝗲 that I need to do whatever I can to infiltrate UA. So Operation Infiltration is a go. Come in, 𝗵𝘃𝗲. We need to go. I hollered down the hall. He dashed out of the room. You're in UA too. I nodded. As long as I don't get too close to the students, it'll be easy to betray them. As far as I know, I'm in Class A with homeroom teacher Izuku. Name hide Takahashi. Quirk shadow manipulation. Let's go. See you later, Yukio. Make sure to do your work too. I waved goodbye to him and pulled 𝗵𝗃𝗃 out of the bar. Time to go to the school for heroes as a villain. The rush I feel is exhilarating. Deku the traitor. Nice ring to it. I knew 𝗵𝗃𝗃 would get into Class A. I recognized a few from my exam. For instance, there is Tokoyami and Kirishima. Jiraiya also had the same exam. Kirishima recognized me. Hey Takahashi, my man. Wicked quirk. Glad you made it. Who's your friend? We're not really friends. We just both went out to celebrate last night and well, now we're here. I gauged 𝗵𝗃𝗃's reaction. He didn't seem to care. Were you celebrating making it into UA? The life of a couple of people? He seemed to understand and stopped talking about it. After a few minutes, a giant yellow blob appeared at the doorway. The blob is moving. Should I attack? The blob is a man. Turns out the teacher is just lazy. Mornings, man, I'm telling ya they SEK. Our teacher, Mr. Izuku, is giving us a quirk assessment test *time skip to the test *. The tests were simple. For the ball throw, since we were told to use out quirk however we want, I formed my shadow into a baseball bat and hit the ball as far as it would go. For the race, I decided to play dirty to win against that 𝗵𝗃𝗃 kid. I used my quirk to cause his shadow to grab his foot and trip him at the start. I beat him obviously. The rest of the test my quirk wasn't too helpful. So I used it to basically give me a tiny boost however I could. The strength one, it only gave me a little more strength. The side-to-side, tiny elevated platforms. So on and so forth. In the end I didn't do too bad. I got 14th out of 20. Not too bad but not great. Perfect for my position here. You didn't do too bad, hide. I almost forgot that I was undercover and asked him why he didn't call me Deku. So that kid who gave you the note, did he have green hair and freckles? I nodded. If you see him again, tell him that 𝗂𝗏 wants to talk. Okay, I will. So what do you think of the group? A few of these people might be formidable opponents. Well, for me at least. Your quirk works like nitroglycerin, right? I'm assuming, of course. Explosives are interesting to research and you are an explosive. Care if I research you? I couldn't help but tease him. What the F? Why would you think that way? I laughed. Take a joke. You're way too serious. Save the seriousness to finding Deku, but when at school let loose a bit or come to the bar some. Enjoy your life because one day it may turn upside down. And with that I leave. Let that stir in your head a bit. Okay, what have you got? Shigaraki is way too eager. I toss him a notebook full of notes on each kid. Each page had a kid's name, quirk, weaknesses like Aoyama gets tummy aches, and how they use their quirk in different situations. I also talked to a few of them to learn a little more. I think you should know something about 𝗵𝗃𝗃. He stresses a lot when something doesn't go his way. When he stresses, he drinks. Since this place serves kids, he will most likely come here. So from here on we will need to remember the names. Yukio, Satoshi, hide. I say, pointing towards each of us in turn. They rolled their eyes. Of course, a stress drinker. That's almost bad as stress eating. I raised my eyebrow to ask how it's not worse. It takes a lot to keep this figure. Shigaraki, you are the literal definition of a human twig. So Kurogiri is practically nothing. I have a better figure than him. Annoying. Can you two quit arguing over your figure? The issue is the same as always. How to take down the symbol of peace. Have you seen All Might yet? I shake my head. I have his class tomorrow though. I'll pay attention to him. Man, I love time skips fighting. Man, I love fighting. Heroes versus villains. Letters, I got G. Who else has 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗃 Kirishima? You thought I was going to say 𝗵𝗃𝗃, didn't you? Takahashi. Sweet, we are both team. Gee, we wait for our turn. All the while I'm watching All Might. He looks uncomfortable and I know why. It's for two reasons. I openly insulted him at the bar and now I'm here staring him down, and also when the kids first saw him they confronted him. They asked why he's teaching everyone if he wants us to give up on our dreams. It's fun to watch him suffer. Next up is Team G as the villains and Team D as the heroes. Me and Kirishima against Bakugo and Uraraka. Villains, you have 10 minutes to get to the weapon and secure it. SpongeBob narrator, 10 minutes later, nothing for Uraraka to use against us. The sheets from the 3rd floor covering the windows in a way to give me plenty of shadows, and you are all ready for your quirk. Let's do this. We waited for a few minutes and Bakugo just blasted the door down. Didn't your mom ever tell you to knock? Kirishima had to hold in a laugh. Hand over the weapon or we will be forced to fight. I face-palmed. Use this as an opportunity, Deku. I begin to tap my fingers on my forehead while in the current facepalm state. Or we will be forced to fight. That is the whole point of this simulation, Bakugo. If we weren't supposed to fight, it wouldn't be called battle trial. Instead it would be called negotiation trial or something. And with that I closed my fist and trapped 𝗏𝗏 and drag him over to me. While dragging him over I used another shadow to bind his hands. Kirishima, deal with the girl and remember to avoid her hands. Or would you rather guard the hostage? Hostage. Hand-to-hand combat with her would be dangerous to the mission. Smart. I clipped the shadows so they stay stuck to him just like Kurogiri taught me. Time to deal with the girl. She began to try and run, but the moment she got near a wall I trapped her. Using the shadows on the wall I caught her arms and pulled her towards the wall as if she was in chains. The heroes are trapped. The villains win. Those words will come out of your mouth again really soon, buddy. This was fun. How did this happen again? Oh yeah, it went like this. Hey guys, I want to hang out. Do you know where we can go, Bakugo? Why ask him? How about we go for a drink? What the hell, Bakugo? I offered it to you, not others. But we are underaged. Doesn't matter. Hyde and I know a place that'll serve us. Bakugo, I will end you. That's great. Let's go after school. And here we are. Shigaraki is giving me the death stare when the others look away. Apparently he has potential members coming later, so I need to get them out of here ASAP. And then I went wham and the guy passed out. Bakugo is telling the story of how he beat up a guy last year. Hey Bakugo, let's go to your place. Yukio has some people coming for a business meeting and would prefer it if kids aren't here. I'll bring the bottle. Please say yes, please say yes. Okay, after all he has been nice enough to allow Satoshi to serve us. Let's not ruin the business. Yeah, let's not. Kirishima agreed. Hopefully Mitsuki doesn't recognize me or have mother over. Asterisk, give me a T. Give me a asterisk, that was too much to ask, wasn't it? Yep, it was. We walk in and boom, I see mother. You brought friends over. Can it? We're going to my room. Through this exchange I can see my mother staring me down. I don't look at her because I didn't put contacts in. She would recognize the eyes. Hey Katsuki, wait a second. He stops. He refused to yell at her. That one, what's his name? You could have asked him. His name is Hyde Takahashi. His father was in the same group as your husband. Maybe that's why he looks familiar. I was just thinking, I know. I thought the same way. Come on Bakugo, let's go. I'm starting to feel weird. You feel weird in this situation, but not with Satoshi and Yukio. I swear sometimes you make no sense. Whatever, this way boys. 𝗏𝗏's always taking the lead. Inko knew how could this affect the story. I get back to base and see some strange-looking guys. I guess these are the new recruits. Hopefully I don't have to bunk with any of them. Aren't you going to say hello? Shigaraki asked when I passed by everyone without a second glance. Not interested, was all I said. What's wrong with you? So far you are playing your part well. Says what just happened? I just saw my mother while playing buddies with my #1 enemy. She was so close to finding out who I was since I didn't have my contacts. I may have cut my hair and dyed it, and I may be covering up my freckles, but my eyes will give me away to her. So I just spent time not even looking at my mother just so I could keep it a secret, so I'm sorry if I don't want to introduce myself to some low-level criminals. If you miss her so much, go back to her. You're the one who decided to join. I don't miss her. She never even questioned why I would come home with bruises or burns when I was being bullied. She visited me only when I was in a coma and not when I woke up. She pretty much stopped paying attention to me after my father died. And when she did, it was only to look at my eyes and pretend that he was still here. What bugs me is I had to be rude when I was supposed to be acting friendly. I just walked away after that. I'm tired of this conversation already. Inko's POV, something's off about that boy. He looks too much like Izuku, and I know for a fact that the others in that group only had daughters. The one guy who had a son reported that his son had died a week before the incident. Not to mention that his son was in high school at the time. Did Izuku change his name and look? Was he so tired of being who he was to do that? Is this all my fault for neglecting him the past few years? Is Izuku Midoriya now 𝗳𝗍𝗍 Takahashi? I need to find this out. Deku is full of drama and Inko is full of questions. Today we go to the USJ. I know that Shigaraki and Kurohige plan on attacking. I have been staying at Bakugo's place for the past week under the pretense of a fight with my Yukio. Here's how the conversation went. 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30. What are you doing here this late? Why are you crying? Thank God for waterproof makeup. I fought with Yukio. Can I stay here for a while? He lead me in. Phase 1 is complete. Why did you two fight? He asked me. He doesn't like me being gay. Yep, a reasonable way to go. After all, I did flirt with Kacchan. Isn't he gay though? God no. Satoshi is just the barkeep. I laughed. Why the FIS their laughter? Who is that? Mitsuki woke up. A gay boy needed a home for a while. He's staying here. Announced to the world. Okay, don't have too much fun. How nice. I knew you were gay, child. 7:30, 7 o'clock, 6:30, 6 o'clock, 5:30, 5 o'clock, 4:30. Now I'm standing here paying attention to 13, pretending that I don't know what's about to go down. He's giving some speech about how quirks can be dangerous but helpful. How we should learn what our quirk is best for. Out of the corner of my eye I see Kurohige's gate open up. And so it begins. I see Bakugo beside me realize what was happening. He looks down towards me. He knows something is up. Hey, did you guys hire the bar guys to act as victims? Kirishima, you poor naive soul. Did we do what? Aizawa turned around and saw the crowd forming below. 13, get the kids out of here. We all ran towards the door. Yes, I did too. I need to act like I'm not part of this, dear readers. Not so fast. Boom, Giri blocked the way as planned. Satoshi, why are you doing this? Bakugo, you wasn't supposed to say it with me. Neither were you, Kurohige. Somehow he got what was going on too. We are just after the symbol of peace and maybe a little side dish as well. Stay out of our way and maybe you won't get too badly injured. Bakugo and Kirishima jumped at the poor barkeep out of anger. Idiots. I sent him a look that said remember the notes and jumped too. Kurohige scattered us all. I was in the collapsed zone since it provided plenty of shadows. I was there with Yaoyorozu and Mineta. I'm guessing Bakugo was sent to the avalanche zone with Tsuyu because both of their quirks don't do well with heat. The rest I'm not too sure about. Before I am seen by the two students I'm with, I melt into the shadows. I don't want them to know I'm here. I'm just here to observe until they either are defeated or they succeed. Mineta got defeated quickly, but Yaoyorozu beat the guys herself. She made a fecking sword to fight the guys after throwing that perverted boy at them. Yep, she threw the grape. Take that, you ball of nothing. She was really good with a sword. A few times I had to duck though. This girl could have very well taken my head off. After she took down the villains, she grabbed the unconscious pervert and ran towards the exit of the building. I sneak out the window and use the shadows to make my way down quickly but without injuries. I make myself look disheveled and get to the front of the building. I start so it looks like I just got there. Hide. The villains in here are taken care of. I give her a thumbs up. Good job. Make your way towards the entrance. I point towards the entrance and see 13 laying down with part of his back damaged. They may need your help, brains up there. I'm going to go help other people. She nods and runs off. I make my way to the avalanche zone to see how they are doing. I get to the top and I see Bakugo jumping up and punching a guy right in the face. The guy collapsed and Bakugo picked up the sleeping frog girl. She went into hibernation mode. Oh Deku, what are you doing here? What the F? Something is wrong with him. I'm not Deku, I'm Takahashi. He shook his head then looked again. Oh sorry Takahashi. This air is messing with me. Now kindly explain why the F they are attacking the place. His voice raised with each word. How am I supposed to know? I've been at your place for a week, and before then I was rarely at the bar. Let's just get 𝗬𝗂 to the entrance area with the rest of the injured. Me and 𝗵𝘃𝗲 was at the entrance. It seems that most of the class was there now. Iida, our class rep, had escaped to go get the teachers. Hurry up and end this, Shigaraki. You know it's strong for me to not fight. Not long after that thought, All Might decided that it was time to show up. Dang it, now Shigaraki will stay. The itch to fight is going to get worse now that All Might is here. My leg began to get jumpy. I tried to calm it, but it was too strong. All Might was now in a position to be killed, and I'm not there to deliver the final blow. Ice froze the Nomu, and 𝗵𝘃𝗲 was on top of Kurogyari. When did those two leave my side? 𝗵𝘃𝗲, make one more move and I'll blast you away. I'm not sure why the barkeep is a villain, but I don't want to hurt him if Hyde relies on him for a place to stay. I turned to All Might, who is now standing. Based on what I heard Izuku say earlier, he doesn't have much time. Finish it? He didn't need to be told twice. He started to pummel the Nomu non-stop. Soon it was going through the roof. All Might may be a weak old man most of the time, but when he's in his All Might form he is amazing. What just happened? What is Hyde doing on top of me? Why is Yukio glaring at him through a hand that is on his face? What the hell was that for? You're letting the barkeep get away. I snap at the small boy that was now standing between me and the owner of the bar. You were about to be killed. While you were too busy staring at All Might, he was making a move to use his quirk on you. What the hell is he talking about? I thought you didn't like them. Why would you try and save one? Yukio's voice rasped out. Didn't like us? I'm assuming he means me and All Might. I knew he didn't like All Might, and the saving is obviously me. Because he is my friend. The bar owner laughed. That rich. You can't change teams in game. The settings don't allow it. Come on, we both know how you really feel. Does this kid really hate me? What have I done to make him hate me? And you knew the agreement. Stay away from what's mine and I wouldn't rat you out. You knew they were villain. Kirishima. When did he get here? Of course I did. I live with them. My head is beginning to spin. Did you say what's yours? The only thing that's yours is that quirk. Everything else is free game for me. Now step out of the way so I can finish this. A second later and Shigaraki is on the ground clutching his leg. Was he just shot? I'll see you later, Hyde. Come on, let's get you medical attention. And now they're gone. 𝗵𝘃𝗲, what the hell just went on? Before I could even ask, Hyde stomped away from me all the way to the exit. He didn't even let the heroes stop him on his trek out of the USJ. Come on, 𝗵𝘃𝗲. 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗲 wants us to go and wait with the others. Kirishima was holding out his hand for me to take. Why does this feel familiar? Why does this feel like a defining moment for our relationship? Like if I don't take up his offer to help, it would lead to a downward spiral. I ended up taking his hand and letting him pull me up. I know why 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗲 wants us to go. If we don't, All Might's tri-form will be revealed to us. 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗲 wants to hide it from the kids. I need to go find Hyde. Let's go find him. I need to know something and only he has the answer. Kirishima nodded. The time wizard has given us a skip. We find him in the bathroom applying some makeup. He really is gay, isn't he? He's muttering something about the green becoming visible again. What is he talking about, and why is he using color-changing contacts? Where is Midoriya? He smiles. I knew it was a matter of time before you asked that. Are you two talking about that kid who tried to commit suicide? Shut up, Kirishima. Yeah, we are, and thanks to our little chat while he was drunk, I know all about why the poor kid decided to jump. I look down in shame. I can feel the redhead's eyes on me. I bet I know what he's thinking. 𝗵𝘃𝗲, you didn't, did you? Enough about the drunk tales. To answer your question, I don't know where Midoriya is. All I know is he's not coming back. He left shortly after you and your father came to the bar. But he's been leaving me notes? How can he be gone? I don't know what to tell ya. Those are probably old and you're just now finding them. I'm not coming over today. I'm going back 'cause I have to have a talk with Yukio. See you later. He shoved past me and left again. Midoriya is gone for good. How is 𝗵𝘃𝗲 going to deal with this? I can't believe you went after my target. I had Shigaraki pinned against the wall with a shadow. That was my grand entrance. I stormed in and a second later I had him against the wall. He was preventing our escape. What was I supposed to do? I don't know, but you didn't need to go for a kill. Bakugo is mine to kill and only mine. Midoriya, I turned to face 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Midoriya is dead. Midoriya was weak and couldn't even stand up to his bullies. I'm not going to be that way. Much like 𝗬𝗵𝗲 over here, I'm not going to be associated with my given name. I'm going to use a taken name. Asterisk, they looked shocked. How did you? Did you honestly think that I was just running around leaving notes? No, I was trying to figure out who I was dealing with. I'm going out. I'll be back later after I've cooled down. Kirishima, so he lives here, at the bar. I have some questions of my own that needs answered, so I came here. Would it be stupid for me to walk into the villain's lair? Midoriya, I stop before I can open the door. That's the barkeep. What's his name? Satoshi, I think. Midoriya is dead. Midoriya was weak and couldn't even stand up to his bullies. I'm not going to be that way. Much like 𝗬𝗵𝗲 over here, I'm not going to be associated with my given name. I'm going to use a taken name. Wait, so is he saying that he is, was Midoriya? Bakugo needs to hear this. He's trying to find the guy who is right in front of him. After I've cooled down. A second later the door opens and 𝗳𝗍𝗓 is in front of me. Hey 𝗳𝗍𝗓, wanna hang out? Can't let him know what I've heard. Sure, whatever. Come on. I know a place where we can hang out. I don't really know how to feel about going somewhere alone with this guy, but I have to. Oh Midoriya, sorry, 𝗳𝗍𝗓 knows 𝗬𝗵𝗲's name and Kirishima heard part of their conversation. Asterisk, if you can tell me where I got given and taken names from, you are officially my friend. A week has passed since the USJ incident. I haven't talked much to anyone, but that's not to say they didn't try. Everyone has come up at least once to ask what it's like to live with villains. They've asked if I've ever felt pressured to go down the villainous path and what motivated me to be a hero. 2 students haven't asked me anything though. Those 2 are Bakugo and Kirishima. They too have been questioned. They were asked how they knew the barkeep because they asked what he was doing here. They were asked how many times they have interacted with the villains unknowingly. In a matter of a few days the whole school knew I lived with villains. Surprisingly, the heroes did nothing to take them or me away. They didn't even try and ask where I lived. On my school form it says orphan. Today we are going to prepare you for the school sports festival. Oh yay! As you all know, the sports festival is a way for you to get recognized by hero companies. So from now until the day of the sports festival, your evening classes are going to focus primarily on getting you prepared for the festival. Sensei, is it wise to host the festival so soon after the attack? Kaminari asked the teacher. Especially if someone who lives with the villains is participating. Mina added. You all know me, Takahashi is working towards being a hero, so I doubt he is going to do anything that could hurt his chances of doing so. You nearly slipped up, Kirishima. I had looked over to Bakugo when he nearly said my old name. Bakugo didn't do much but look over at the red-haired boy. You all saw how shook up he was when they attacked. Why would he want it to happen again? Now this is an interesting turn of events. Bakugo sticking up for the little nerd. For all we know, he could be a spy. I say he shouldn't even be here. Ouch, Mina. That hurts. What if I just drop out of the festival? Will that make you all happy? You won't have another person with bad family drama tainting your glorious festival. Play the part. Make them feel guilty. It's not just bad family drama, Takahashi. Your family hurt our teacher and tried to kill Bakugo. And who's the one that prevented his death? It sure as hell wasn't you. Mina was shocked. Listen, if you are worried about me going rogue and making a mess of the sports festival, I'll stay home. It's not like my quirk works good in the middle of the day anyways. So have fun running around and showing off. I make a dramatic exit and wait outside to hear what is said next. Maybe we were a little HRD on him. You should go apologize, Mina. I'm not apologizing for pointing out something that could very well happen. Quiet down. He's going to get to participate no matter what you guys say. Everyone who steps into this school gets an equal chance to become a hero. Their family doesn't matter. You guys are sitting in the same room as the number 2 hero's son. Some of you can hardly even afford to come to this school. Some only have one parent and others have both. He just happened to have the bad luck of being a villain's child. Tomorrow those of you who said cruel things and those of you who didn't bother to stand up for him will apologize. As long as Kirishima listens to what I said that day, I should be in the clear. So keep your mouth shut, Kirishima. I'm always listening. We are sorry for being rude to you. I stepped into the classroom the next day and they all apologized, just like they were told to. To play the part of aspiring hero, I accepted the apology. Told them it's fine and I'm used to it. All that jazz. The more I play the part, the more I realize how lame it is to be the hero. You can't hold grudges, you are supposed to leave as little damage as possible, and all these laws really get in the way of things. How was I so stupid to think it would be awesome? Was I really that dumb as a kid? Did All Might really blind me that much? Hide. What do you want? Have you not heard a single thing Mina said? Sorry, I was lost in thought. What did you say? I looked over to Mina. I said sorry for accusing you of being a spy and you can attend the festival if you want. She sounds angry. Oh, I intended to. Taking notes from home just isn't quite the same as doing so in person. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 taking notes from home just isn't quite the same as doing so in person. Where have I heard that before? 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 4:30, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, come on 𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗏. There is a fight going on a few blocks away. I was being pulled towards a smoky area by Deku. My arm out of his weak grasp. Why would I want to go to a villain attack? It's not like they're going to let a 10-year-old fight. To take notes. I heard All Might showed up and it's not going to last long. You can take notes from in front of the TV, you DMN nerd. Taking notes from home just isn't the same as taking them in person. You get to feel the fight in front of you. Come on. Let's go. He began to pull me forward again. 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 4:30, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, Deku. Hyde turned to me. What about him? I already told you you can't see him. Something's not right. He said those words. When we were 10 he said the same thing about note-taking. Did he tell you to say that just to mess with me? Now why would he do that? I don't like the look of that smile. We just both enjoy being there, Kirishima grabbed my arm as I was about to go 𝗵𝗃𝗍 the brat into the ground. But you are going to get in trouble if you do. I don't care if I get in trouble. I just want to find that DMN nerd. Listen. If you really want to find him, I can introduce you to a family friend. You won't like him though. He's kind of bleg. Why would I work with a villain to find him? The same reason you are working with All Might and the police. You want to find him. How did he know I was working with All Might? Of course he won't work for free. He doesn't work that way. You want to find Midoriya by the end of the school year, he's your only option. The case closes by then, right? That's not that long. The class looked at me. Do they honestly expect me to work with a villain? I will find him without the help of a villain. You just watch. The boy gave a smile and turned away. I have an idea of where he might be, and I don't like it. Kirishima, I don't know how long I can continue to not tell 𝗵𝗃𝗃 what I know. He will find out eventually, but if he knows that I knew this whole time he will get angry. But after that day, 5:30, 4:30, 6:30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7:30, the door opened and Hyde stepped out. He looked angry. He had just finished yelling at Yukio and Satoshi and I heard things I shouldn't have. Hyde is actually the Midoriya kid that tried to commit suicide. The one everyone, including 𝗵𝗃𝗃, was looking for. Hey Takahashi. I came to see if you might want to hang out. Yeah, whatever. I need to clear my head anyways. We had went to a gym. This gym allows people to use their quirks freely as long as they don't harm anyone or destroy the place. We both got soaring partners that can help us build up our quirk. It was strong to find one for his quirk though. I know you heard what I said. He does. The shadows told me. He can talk to shadows? I can't let you tell 𝗵𝗃𝗃. Why? He's worried about you, man. Our sparring partners realized that this conversation is not meant for them, so they stopped advancing and left us. He's not worried about me. He's worried that people will find out that he was one of the main people that pushed me to jump. Yes. But he seems to really care about Midoriya. He's even told me that he was actually friends with him. Then why are you acting all buddy-buddy with him? Why did you save him from Yukio? I may hate him, but I can't have him dying on me just yet. Not until he figures it out. Not until he figures out just how much I cared. Oh my god, 5:30, 4:30, 6:30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7:30. After that conversation I was sworn to secrecy. He said if I told him any of this he would make sure I would never be a hero. I don't know how he would go about doing that, but I don't want to find out. I hate keeping secrets from him, but I can't tell him. He has to figure this out on his own. When he does, I'll be there. When he does, I'll make sure he has someone there for him. I'll be there to help, to make sure he doesn't do something he may regret. I'll be there and I'll make sure he gets through this. I wanted you all to know what our shark was going through. Hope you all like it. Somehow I made it to the end. Somehow I got to the final battle. It's a bad pairing for me and I know he knows it too. That's why he's smirking like that. Most would chalk it up to his personality, but after knowing him for this long I know that look well. That's the look he gives when he knows he's going to win. Let the final match begin. Midnight yelled. We both stood there for longer than we should have. Both of us was waiting for the other to charge forward. When he realized that I wasn't going to, he came at me. Right hook first. Easy dodge. I grabbed his arm and twisted, making him fall flat on his back. He reached up with his other, had to send an explosion, but I have him where I need him. His shadow may be small, but it's there. All I need is to connect my shadow with it. I'm not letting you win, nerd. He quickly moved himself to send the explosion near my shadow, causing it to retreat. You spend too much time thinking and not enough time doing. Just like someone else I know. Stop comparing me to that useless boy. He's a coward and didn't have the courage to tell you or anyone else how he felt. He looked taken aback by my words. And how would you know how he felt? The same way I learned about how you felt about him. Through a competition that resulted in him spilling his secrets. It's sad that you can't last long in those things. He swung at me and I dodged. I know for a fact that he can hold his liquor. You're lying. What else do you know? I landed a hit to his side, but he recovered quickly and flipped me onto the ground. I know your makeup is starting to come off, pretty boy. What are you hiding for? Come on and tell me. I'm not hiding anything. I just don't like to look in the mirror and see my father's face. Who wants to be reminded that their parents kill for a living every time they see themselves? That made him back off, but not enough to avoid being captured. Was all he said when he felt me taking control and paralyzing him. Katsuki Bakugo can't move. Hyde Takahashi takes first place. Bakugo could only move his eyes and he used this to glare at me. I walked off of the stage to go rest before the awards ceremony. Once Bakugo was released from my bindings, he started raging. I would too if I was in his position, so I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. Asterisk, the glorious time gods have blessed us with a skip asterisk, so I had to wait longer than usual because he had to be knocked out by Midnight's quirk. Apparently he wouldn't stop throwing a tantrum otherwise. Since he got second, he has to be at the awards ceremony. When we were finally ready to continue, he had been strapped in and muzzled like a dog. We were each on our own circles about to rise up to the stadium. I noticed something though. He looked scared and maybe even a little hurt. He was being treated like a monster. Look at me, 𝗏𝗏. Now his look morphed into one of shock. 𝗵𝘃𝗏𝗏? He tried to yell at me, but the muzzle was making it difficult to understand. I don't know what you just said. I just want you to calm down so they can unstrap you. If you go out there looking like that, it's going to be harder for you to be viewed as a hero. Anger flashed in his eyes, but I know he understands where I'm coming from. Takahashi, just leave it. He looks ready to kill. You did too during your match with 𝗧𝗍. They didn't strap you up like some kind of monster. Hey you. Yeah, you come over and undo Bakugo's bindings. One of the attendants looked terrified, but they still listened. Why the hell did you do that? You could have just let them humiliate me like you did earlier. His voice was rising. The look in your eyes. Something happened to you and you remembered it when the muzzle was on. I don't know what it is, but it must have been traumatic. I don't need your pity. It's not pity. I just don't want you to feel like SHT right now. I don't. He snapped. Okay, hey, put the muzzle on him again. I motioned for the guy to come back. You do and I'll kill you. The guy backed off. And don't ever call me 𝗏𝗏. What are you talking about? I didn't call him 𝗏𝗏, did I? You said look at me, 𝗏𝗏. Todoroki pointed out. The platforms started to raise. The ceiling opened up and I heard Midnight announcing that we are the winners. All Might stood in front of us. Of course he's the one to hand us the medals. I took great pleasure in hearing some of the crowd boo him. Guess those people remember the little note I left. The first medal went to Todoroki and Tokoyami since they shared third. He hugged them and whispered something in their ear. Next up was Bakugo. He tried to refuse the medal but eventually All Might got him to wear it. He whispered something in Bakugo's ear that made his eyes widen. Next was me. I let him out the medal on me, but when he went to say something to me I just held up my hand. Just don't bother. There is nothing you can say to make this situation better, All Might. I drew out the name in a cold fashion. This earned me a few stares, and since All Might was wearing a microphone the crowd also heard me. Some of the crowd was happy to hear that I didn't particularly like the hero. The other part of the crowd was shocked, but All Might just shook it off. This isn't the reaction I wanted. I wanted him shook up. He just turned around and showed us off to the crowd. They all cheered and clapped. The knot in my stomach grew tighter. I hate being the center of attention, but I have to be. I have to make sure I am not too suspicious. I can't let anyone find out. Not yet anyways. Why are you doing this, D? He stops in his tracks and turned his head a little to show that he was listening. Look around at the mess you have made. I motioned to the wreckage that was around us. All of these people are dead because of you. You want to know why I am doing this? Why don't you think back? Reach down a grasp onto the memories of when you and the rest of the world has treated me like I was one of you. He was now circling me as if I was his prey. I was terrified, and rightfully so. Tell me, 𝗂𝗧𝗵𝗃, how far back did you have to go? How long ago was it? Was it last year? How about a few years back? Or was it perhaps so far back that it is almost completely faded? So you're doing this because you were treated a bit differently? He let out a cold laugh that sent shivers down my spine. A bit differently, he says. I'm guessing a bit differently was turning your back on your friend. A bit differently is constantly calling them useless. A bit differently is the pity in the eyes of the grocer who gave us a discount for the quirkless boy. You know what? For years I turned a blind eye to it. I kept telling myself that I could be a hero. I said to myself that soon I'd be as great as 𝗂𝗧𝗵𝗃, as great as All Might, and for what? For everyone to tell me to give up. For everyone to tell me that I'll never be a hero. Well, guess what, 𝗂𝗂𝗵𝗃? Every single last one of you were right. I never became a hero. I joined those who accepted me for who I was, and they made me better. This isn't better. This is worse. Don't you know that there were people who loved you? Don't you know how many people showed up after you were announced dead? All those people loved the cheerful green-haired boy. I could feel tears falling from my eyes. If they lived me, then why did they not do anything to stop this from happening? Tell me that. Why didn't they do anything to try and save me when I was trapped? How was we supposed to know when all you do is smile? Well, I'm not smiling now. So what are you going to do, hero? Are you going to save me, or are you going to fight me? I get into a fighting stance. I'm going to fight to save you. I declare. He smiles an evil smile and holds up his left hand. Sorry, 𝗂𝗂𝗵𝗃, but this fight was over before it even began. He closed his hand and the shadows started to strangle me. I couldn't breathe. The last thing I heard before I died was, I will always love you, 𝗂𝗂𝗵𝗃. I sat up straight and gasped for air while grabbing the shadows that had a hold of me, but nothing was there. It was just a dream. Everything was just a dream. The explosion, the dead bodies, and Deku. It was all a stupid dream. I couldn't stop the tears from rolling down my face. I'd almost prefer that dream to be a reality, if only to know that Deku is still here and alive. About a week ago I had started to get the feeling that all of this investigating is useless. The thought that Takahashi was just toying with me was engraved in the back of my mind. Just give me a sign. I stumbled into class the next day. I couldn't get back to sleep after that nightmare. I didn't bother to even try to look decent since it took too much energy. Several people made comments about how awful I looked, but I just ignored it. Izuku offered to let me sleep in class, but I didn't. I didn't want to fall behind over something so stupid. Dude, just go home and rest. You can't continue to force yourself to stay awake. It's not healthy, man. I can't fall behind. I need to get through today so I can get closer. I need to become a hero for him. I didn't even know what I was saying. I just let my mouth take over. My brain had shut off before he even began talking to me. For who? Why are you crying, bro? Am I really crying? I wiped my eyes and sure enough I had tears coming out. You'd think I'd have no more after that 2 hours before 3 a.m. Just forget about it. Hey 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵𝗲, I'm taking 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁 outside for some fresh air. Before the teacher, or me for that matter, could protest, the red-haired freak already had me put the door. I was outside and sitting on a bench before I could even process what had happened. Oh, you don't have to hide anything from me. He's dead. He has to be. Why am I telling him? What good will it do to tell him when he doesn't even know the guy? Who is? Who's dead, 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁? He looked genuinely worried about me, so I continued. I don't even know why I bother to look for Deku anymore. If he's not dead, then he doesn't want to be found. That much is obvious. I've already caused him so much pain, and to find him when he doesn't want it would just cause him more. A hero is supposed to take away the pain and terror, not inflict it. I put my head in my hands and tried to hold back everything that was wanting to spill out. Are these thoughts why you couldn't sleep last night? I just nodded. What if I told you that Midoriya, he stopped what he was saying? Why did he stop? I told you that he has to figure it out himself. Isn't that Takahashi? I looked up and sure enough he was standing there. Can't you tell he's hurting? Stop acting like a JRK and help him. He'll find out soon enough. Now if you can't keep your mouth closed, I can simply. Kirishima just glared, but shut up. What is going on? What's going on between you two? What are you keeping from me? It's nothing too serious. He just heard something that he shouldn't have, and I told him not to tell you until you figure something out first. What's wrong with this kid? He's acting like a villain. Not too long after that, Takahashi walked off. Why did he even come out here in the first place? Was it just to stop the red-haired weirdo from saying something? If so, then how did he know? I don't think you will find Deku. At least not the one you're looking for. What the hell is he talking about? Of course I'll find the nerd. I'll find him shitty hair, and when I do I'm going to pull him right back here and make him become the hero he wanted to be. He just shook his head and started to head to the school. Go home, 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁. Go home and rest. Tomorrow when you aren't so tired, I'll start helping you. You might not like what you find though. Why is he dead set on me not getting what I want? It's aggravating. I'll tell our teachers that you weren't feeling well, so you went home. He left no room to argue, and I was too tired to fight him on this. So I went back home. My father was shocked to see me back so soon but didn't question it. I went straight to bed and didn't wake up till the next day. Izuku, it's not going to be long before he pieces everything together. I don't think Kirishima is going to last much longer either. Well, the way I see it, I can either reveal myself or wait for 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁 to do it for me. If I revealed myself, Shigaraki will get angry, but I get to see 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁's reaction. If I wait, then I have to listen to long speech about how he figured it out. Common main character action. What to do. I guess I can't always have fun. Of course I haven't had much fun lately anyways. All of this acting is getting annoying. Plus it's a hassle to get up early every morning to apply the makeup and go to school. How do the girls in this class do it? You know what? I'll keep this act up a bit longer. After all, field study starts at the end of the month, and there is one person on my list that I am just dying to meet. Well, I was not expecting this. What is he doing here? Someone as interesting as him shouldn't even want to be around small-time villains as us. You didn't tell me you had a child. Tell me, kid, are you following in your useless dad's footsteps? Listen, Stain, Shigaraki here isn't my father. The only reason I'm here is plain and simple. There are some people that have pushed me over the edge and they need to pay. Either by feeling complete and total despair or something a little more permanent. The hero killer gave me a creepy smile and then laughed. He leaned on his sword to hold himself up until he got control of himself. I like you, kid. You have a goal and I can see how much you want to succeed. How about I offer you a little help with that? Say a little training in hand-to-hand combat. Now that sounds exciting. I get to have a little fun while learning something useful. How about some blade action as well? Would really come in handy. Hang on a second. He may not be my son, but he still works under me. What about my say in the matter? There goes Shiggy trying to control everything again. I roll my eyes and turn towards him. Look at it this way. If I accept his offer, I will get more training in and learn more about fighting. I have already learned all of Kuroji's moves and can defend against them easily. I need a challenge so I can improve. Also, no matter what you say, I'm still going. So either give me permission to go or look like even more of a fool by not being able to control your men. I've already learned how to get Shigaraki to let me do most of what I want. I was going to give you permission anyways, you brat. I just wanted you guys to know that I still have a say when it comes to dealing with my workers. There it is. He played the, I'm doing this because I want to card. He is so easy to read. Good. Hey portal, put me back where you found me. Bring the kid too. Training starts shortly after we arrive, so grab whatever you need. Time skip gods have blessed us. It's been about 3 hours of training now. I have gotten to where I can read his movements and respond in the proper manner. He has taught me how to move my body in a way that is difficult to touch. He even let me hold his blades, which was cool. I better go or I won't be able to get tonight's kill in. I assume you've got that portal guy's number. I nodded and pulled out my phone. Thank you, sir. It was an honor to learn from you. I say while looking for the right contact. Jiren gave me several fort emergencies and put them under the name of their quirks. I don't know why I'd ever need a guy who makes fishing poles from his fingernails, but I have him. Hey, who said you're done learning from me? I've got a lot more to teach you. I'm going to pick you up tomorrow too. I'll be prepared then. Have fun killing Stain. He kept his promise and picked me up the next day after school. The day after that too. This went on until I had to leave for my field study. By that point we could read each other's attacks before they were even put into play. I had also gotten pretty good with his blades, which I learned he uses for his quirk along with the killing. He's a pretty fun guy once you get down to it. Tomorrow I'm going to meet another interesting guy. This is awkward. Why doesn't he just talk already? We are heading to the same place and we will be working together for the week. May as well get to know each other a little better. Why'd you choose him of all people? There's the question I knew was going to come eventually. Good thing I memorized the speech I was going to give him. I respect him for working so strong to knock All Might down a peg or two. All Might isn't what I would call a hero. You remember when Bakugo got angry at me for accidentally calling him Kachin? The boy in front of me nodded. That's because he's working strong to find the one person who can call him that. I'm sure you heard of him on the news. Midoriya was his name. Everyone knows that he was a quirkless boy that tried to commit suicide. What they don't know is that All Might was the last person to see him and talk to him before the hop over the edge. Okay, so what? That doesn't make him any less of a hero. I'm not done yet, Todoroki. Where was I? Wait. Midoriya had been having a rough day already. Wait, that's not the right word. He had a rough day every day thanks to Bakugo's gang. He had been having an awful day. You see, the teacher had brought up UA and how Bakugo was going to take the exam for it. He also mentioned how one other student planned to. Our quirkless little Deku. If you don't know already, Deku is what Bakugo refers to Midoriya as. Well, our little Bakugo did not like that. After class he went up to our already weak-willed boy and started insulting him and telling him to not even try because there is no way a quirkless boy would make it in. That alone was bad enough. The line he delivered before he left was what really shook Deku up. If you really want to be a hero so bad, pray you'll have a quirk in the next life and take a swan dive off of the roof. I don't see how this has anything to do with All Might. Patience. You needed to know a little bit about what was going through our boy's head during their meeting. Okay, I said the swan dive thing. Terrible, really. No one should have to hear that. Okay, back to the rooftop where he was with All Might. Yes, that rooftop. The one where he did a little drop. Now Deku really loved All Might. His room was covered with All Might figures and posters. So meeting his idol was a big deal. All his life he had wanted to meet this man, and on the day he needed something amazing to happen the most he met him. So they are on this rooftop and talking. Deku mentioned how he wanted to be a hero even though he was quirkless. All Might then said, well, you know what he said? It was all over the news. That big message on the side of the building. That's what he said to a boy who already had the words Kachin said running through his head. Give up. Take a swan dive off of the roof. Those phrases were going through his head when he jumped. By some miracle he survived. After breaking out of the hospital he found me. He wanted to leave this place, so I helped him and promised to make sure those two didn't find him. So you hate All Might for saying the words that pushed your friend over the edge. And some other personal reasons. That's not the only Midoriya he was responsible for killing. Deku's father and my dad died the same day because All Might didn't save them. He was too busy swimming in vinegar. Your dad is alive. Did you forget the whole USJ incident? If you're going to lie, make it a good one. No, my dad is dead. My father is alive. Father takes care of me, dad is the one that loved me. I could see him getting irritated. What about your mother? Tell me about why you hate your father so much before I tell you any more of my trauma. He looked taken aback but complied. His story took till the end of the ride to finish. I knew it would. I had already done research, so I knew the story and then some. Oh, glorious time skip, Shoto, you made it and you brought the Takahashi kid with you? I came of my own accord, sir. He didn't even understand why I came. I can't let that half and half boy get credit. Well, why did you come? I'm sure you had plenty more offers. Because I respect that you are trying to pass All Might. He smiled. Shoto, you have good friends. He's not my friend. Well, if you two then. Whatever, let's get to work. Right away. This guy doesn't rest. Good, I get to see him in action. Isn't this where Stain said he'd be this week? Well, this isn't good. Of course Stain is his target. Maybe I can get a diversion from Shigaraki. As I'm thinking that a Nomu comes from nowhere. Well, thanks Shiggy. While they are dealing with this, was that Iida slipping into an alleyway. What the hell does he think he's doing? Hey, I think I just saw the Zumi boy from class go into that alley. I whisper to Todoroki. His name is Iida. Let's go figure out what he's up to. He turns and goes to leave, but Endeavor sees him. Where do you think you're going? The fight is this way. He yells. One of my classmates might be heading for trouble. He continues to run towards the alley that we passed a while ago, and Endeavor groans. He says something about rebellious kids that tells me to follow him to back him up. I nod and do as I'm told. When I get to the alley, I see Stain fighting Todoroki and Iida is paralyzed on the ground. The hero native is also paralyzed. I can tell that Todoroki isn't going to last long. Stain is getting closer and closer to him. As soon as I'm about to enter the alley, Todoroki gets cut. Game over. He falls into the ground as soon as Stain's tongue grazes the blade. I didn't get here in time. I look over to Stain and he nods. We had just sat down for a break from training as the sun began to disappear behind the buildings. I leave for field training soon. I'm going to go work under Endeavor, and knowing him, he will be coming after you. So if I see you and I'm told to fight, I will have to. Well, then be glad we've had these sessions. If we hadn't, there is a good chance I would kill you. What I'm saying is, if that comes to pass, don't let them know we know each other. I can't have my cover blown. They know me as the son of a villain, but they don't know I hang around villains by choice. I get what you're saying. I won't let your little friends know we know each other. Another one. You seem to have a lot of friends, don't you? Takahashi, run. This isn't your fight. Iida yells towards me. You're the idiot that went after this nutcase. Plus, Endeavor told me to back Todoroki up. I saw Stain hold back a laugh at the nutcase part. Listen to me, Takahashi. I think his quirk has something to do with BLD. The moment he mine, I was paralyzed. Oh, so we have a Sherlock. Stop your yammering already. Come on, kid. Give it all that you've got. I smiled. He said those words to me so many times. No blades. Let's go bare hands and see who holds out the longest. He looked shocked. Either that or toss me a blade. Takahashi, what do you think you're doing? You're crazy. Shut up, Todoroki. I know what I'm doing. I snapped as Stain tossed me a blade. How did that work? Iida looked shocked. I'm not holding back, kid. The left side of his mouth lifted some, so I knew he was lying to me. He wants to play. Whatever. Let's dance, Stainy boy. I spun the blade a few times as I walked forward. I heard Todoroki say something about me being crazy. Iida responded about something along the lines of father's genes. You'll also like to see him for who he is, not by his lack of 6K. Each member of the League of Villains have seen all the horrors society has to offer. They've been through it and lived it. They know what to expect and what needs to be until I wanted to change. Trigger warning. self-harm, suicidal thoughts, symptoms of PTSD. Izuku Midoriya has escaped from the League of Villains and returns home, determined to use his quirk to 𝗳𝗏𝗍𝗔 of a feather K2K and quote, "We're living in a hell you've created. How could you, Izuku? Why?" And quote, "Don't give me that I did what had to be done. This is my perfect victory. And promise me." Katsude K4K. The League of Villains attacks 𝗂𝗧𝗍𝗂, leaving great consequences. More specifically, they turn certain individuals back to children. How will the young heroes in 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟 secret, Villian Deku? Completed. K7K. This is a fanfiction based off of 𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗂, or My Hero Academia. Instead of a reality where the main character, Izuku Midoriya, is born without a quirk, he develops quite a mistakes were made. The summer camp was a SHT show. The League of Villains captured a promising hero student and planned to persuade him to default to the dark side with them. Bakugo is determined to run away. Deku 6K2K. Midoriya Izuku ran away at age 10, tired of the bullying and abuse he had to put up with from friends, teachers, and even family. He was a hair's width away from jumping. The way Stain is moving, he's going to start with a slash to the left, slightly below my chin. I easily blocked it and pushed him back. He is definitely playing with me. If he was being serious, he would have pulled his small knife out of his belt and went for the kill. "You're really good with that blade, kid. Not many can block me." "Who taught you to wield one?" "Only the best teacher I've ever had." He came at me again. I slid under him as he jumped and tapped his shoulder. Those watching me were gawking. Why didn't I just end the match there? That's what they are thinking. I promised I'd make sure he stayed free. "You're really going to get on my nerves if you keep doing that. Come at me already. Come on, Stainy. Let me play a bit. It's so boring with father." I pouted. He knows that's a sign to say after 3 more attacks I'm going to let him hurt me and escape. "Fine, I'll play for a bit." Acknowledged. Strike 1, went for my left side. I blocked and struck at him. He of course easily dodged. Then the second strike he tried to knock out my legs. I jumped and held the blade in a way that wouldn't allow him to hit me. Strike 3, he went for my head. I blocked and knocked him down, tagging him. "Good job, kid, but not good enough." I smiled and mouthed, "I'm ready," since I wasn't facing the others. He stabbed my leg. I let out a cry of pain. He almost looked apologetic and paralyzed me. "Takahashi." Todoroki cried out with Ida. "I'm going to take the hero and go. Since I had fun with your friend, I'll spare you too for now." He grabbed the blade he lent me, and while he knelt down he whispered in my ear, "I'll see you later, kiddo. Text Giri and have him send you to these coordinates tomorrow at 10:30. He then whispered some coordinates into my ear. "Don't talk to me about him, you psychopath. That was our code for agreeing when I'm down. You really are something else, kid." "Yes." He grabbed Native and ran off. The others looked at me shocked. "Do you know him or something?" Ida asked me as I vegan to move a bit. Todoroki was wearing off too. "Nope. Never met him in my life. He's fun though. That blade was nice too. Felt right in my hands. I never would have been able to block him if it didn't. He's fast. You looked like you could read his movements before he even acted on them. You also called him Stainy. Why would you call him that?" "To provoke him to make mistakes. Also, it's easy to read his movements. When you wield a blade, the way you move determines the outcome of the slash. Let's say you wanted to head for the neck and you were holding a steak knife. Would have your arm like this." I showed them. They seemed to understand. "How did your paralysis wear off so fast?" "BLD type. Ida should be wearing off in a couple of minutes." I pulled out my phone and unlocked it. "Now is not the time to be on your phone, Takahashi." Ida snapped. "Actually, now is a great time. I'm getting us an alibi. We can't very well say we fought Stain and lived now, can we?" I could see the realization come across his face. "What the hell do you want? Aren't you supposed to be with that hero?" The scratchy voice sounded angry. "Come on, I know you can see Endeavor, so you know I'm not with him at the moment. Listen, I need you to call off your little pets. Have Kurogiri or your emissary portal them out of there so it looks weird." "What the hell did you say? Are you telling me what to do?" "Listen, I took, yeah, whatever. Come on, Shiggy. Do this one thing for me and I'll tell you all about my fight with Stain." The other 2 students' eyes widened when they found out who I was talking to. "You're getting help from a villain. Ida was now moving. You're with someone else and talking to me. Oh my goodness, you two just shut up. Ida, unless you want to get in a lot of trouble for your stupid mistake, this is the only way, and Father Portal the stupid Nomus away so we can have a lie to tell 𝗫𝗏𝗧 so we don't get questioned about surviving a stain attack. He grumbled, and then I heard him tell Kurogiri to get rid of the Nomus. Thank you. I'll get you a new game later. I hung up the phone. I can't believe we just got help from a villain. Todoroki looked angry. Be glad he was willing to do this after hearing that I was with other people. If I'd mentioned Todoroki, he most definitely would not have. After a couple of minutes we left the alleyway and found the heroes we were supposed to be with. I explained how we had been fighting a Nomu and it suddenly got up by a portal. Since they also saw Nomu being taken away by portals, they believed the lie. No one will know that we had been fighting Stain. It's been about a week since our field training ended. It was kind of dull working with 𝗫𝗏𝗧. The real excitement was when I snuck out to talk with Stain. It was quite easy. Each night 𝗫𝗏𝗧 would keep Todoroki behind for special training. So I just call up Giri to send me to the meeting place after I leave the building. When I was asked where I went, I said I did a little private training. The first night I snuck out, he just wanted to talk about our little meeting the day before. Then every day till the end of our field training I snuck out to improve my skills. No. You've got it wrong. You move like this for a kick from above. He demonstrated again by attacking the guy he had captured to be our dummy. Now you try again. We are not moving on until you can get 10 clean attacks in a row. After aerial attacks we moved to quick captures. By the last day we had gotten through most of the notebook he had drawn up to teach me. Of course that was just the hand-to-hand combat notebook. The blade book has barely been touched. I have to 𝗵𝗃 the hand-to-hand book before I can 𝗵𝗃 most of the blade book. Takahashi, you zoned out again. Class is over. Todoroki was standing in front of me. That's the third time since we've gotten back. Is everything all right at home? You mean besides the new flow of villains that come through our doors each day? Somehow it got out among villains that I fought Stain, so more and more people are joining the league each day. They want to be with the group that raised a survivor of a Stain fight. I know Todoroki won't tell anyone about the sudden increase in villains because if he did he'd have to explain how he knew. To do that he'd have to reveal the fight with Stain. That bad. Must be strong living with all of them. Not really. There's a few that I actually enjoy talking with. Dabi, or as I have discovered through a couple of hours of research, a certain classmate's brother. A certain one I did a little research on after I saw his quirk. Found out some interesting facts. I'd tell you, but you already have enough on your plate. Figured that out when I did research on my classmates. He has it rough. I mean, I already knew to an extent. Living with the number 2 hero can't be all perfect. The story behind your scar though is tragic all on its own. Come on, Taka. You can't just dangle meat in front of a dog and not expect it to take it. I just found out a backstory that's similar to a classmate's. Not that big of a deal. I grabbed my bag and moved to leave. Which classmate? I know Todoroki loves to make theories. I knew he would do anything to get some information. How about tomorrow you come over and I can show you the research myself? I bet I could get the league to leave for a while. Or at least the new league. I can't have the new league seeing you or their bloodlust might take over. Can't have another Todoroki disappear. His eyes widened. How did you know about 𝗬𝗧? It wasn't that strong to find out. At the hero agency the family photos were never really consistent. Well, I did a little digging and figured out some information on your family. You see, at the beginning of the year I picked out a few classmates to learn more about. You were on the list, but I never really got around to researching you until after the field training. What I found out though was tragic. A boy bred to be the best. A perfect combination of fire and ice. Raised to be a hero and nothing else. Whose mother scarred him for the rest of his life. Father wanted nothing to do with anything unless it would improve your chances of becoming number 1. Shoto Todoroki had 3 older siblings. Natsuo, Fumi, and dear old 𝗬𝗧. 𝗬𝗧 mysteriously disappeared and has been assumed dead. Now the sibling count is down to 2. If I found out all of that about you, imagine what I dug up on this villain. Let me know by 10:30 if you want to come over tomorrow. I'll come, but make sure to keep your father away from me. I can't kick him out of his own house, but I'll see what I can do with everyone else. See you tomorrow, 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗪. Good, my plan is in motion. I can't just send everyone to the streets so your little friend can come over for a few hours. You're not even supposed to be making friends. This isn't going well. Hey 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃, come here for a minute. He dropped toga and came over to us. What do you need, shapeshifter? That what he calls me since he saw me without the makeup and hair dye? What would you say if I said the person I'm bringing over tomorrow is 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃's brother? Do you really want him to be seen? 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃 doesn't have a brother. And how would you know that? You probably didn't even look at how 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃 reacted when I said that. I don't know why you're bringing him here, but it's too early to see him yet. Need me to make everyone scarce for a few hours so he doesn't get hurt? At least 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃 has a brain. I stuck out my tongue to Shigaraki. That would be wonderful. 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃 pulled me away to the side. Now comes the questions. How did you find out so quickly? Not even that Jiren guy that brought me here could find out. He looked angry but sounded impressed. I explained to him how I did research on classmates and on the new villains that I thought were worth my time. Then how I put 2 and 2 together. So basically you ran background checks on everyone. You're amazing with a computer, you know that. Well, your father's family photos also help. Even with your scars you still look a bit like, well, I doubt you want to hear that name. He looked glad that I stopped myself. I know all about not wanting to use a name. There is a certain name I don't want to use or hear, but until he finds out I'm going to have to hear it used a lot. Let me guess. It's that Bakugo character you talk about that needs to find out. Yeah. He's one of the main reasons I am doing this in the first place. Well, best of luck, Shifter. I'll inform the others that they need to make themselves scarce tomorrow, and I'll put a sign out that says club is cancelled for today for those who I can't get the word out to. Thanks, 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃. Oh, and one more thing. How is little 𝗧𝗪𝗱 doing? He was distant from everyone for a while, but after that Stain attack he has gotten closer to me and Iida. 𝗧𝗪𝗱 was there when you fought Stain. I knew it was you and 2 others, but I didn't know 𝗧𝗪𝗱 was one of them. Yeah. Stain already had him down when I got there. Was about to deliver the final blow, but Stainy can't resist a fight with me. After all, the teacher can't deny the student a lesson when asked. You are an odd one, Shifter. I'll give you that. You knew Stain before the fight, and from how you disappear at random times I would say you even still have contact with him. Don't let these idiots know, or they won't ever let you leave without taking them with you. I can count on you to keep your mouth shut about it, so I don't need to worry. Well, I guess I should prepare to go. It's about that time. Hey Giri, I need the gate. See you later, 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃. With that I stepped through the gate to go continue my training. Tomorrow after school I 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗪𝗃 until we got inside. I saw the sign, so 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃 kept that part of the promise. Except for Shigaraki, the rest of the league is gone. Well, Giri is here, but that's a given. Kirishima and Bakugo weren't kidding about the bartender thing. What is a warp gate doing as a bartender? I'll show you. Giri, 2 glasses of the good stuff. I held out my hands and in a matter of seconds the glasses was in my hands. I handed one to 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗪𝗃. He looked at it with disgust. The only drinks we have here have alcohol, so SCK it up and drink it. I'm only here for that information. I don't need a drink. Now I see it, kid. Same attitude. At least one doesn't decline alcohol. Shigaraki said from his place at the bar. I thought you said you would keep him away from me. And he is. He's not going to approach you the whole time you're here. Usually if someone walks into the lair they're fair game, but you are an exception. Come on. My room is this way. When I get to my room I knock on the door 3 times. I get an odd look from 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗪𝗃. I explain how someone may be going against today's rule and hiding in my room to challenge me to a fight. Then I had to explain how I have fought almost everyone because they want to fight the person who fought Stain. He understood after that. When we got to my room I threw my onto the bed and went to the filing cabinet. I opened the drawer that went DF and the one that went RV. I grabbed the files for 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃 and the files for the 2 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗪𝗃s. Hey, you've got what looks like a gift here. Does it say who it's from? Why is Toga's knife in my room? No, it just says to S from D. I don't know who S is. Oh, how nice. He provided a perfect way to bring him up. S stands for Shifter. That is what 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃 calls me. I held up the file for 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃 and 𝗳𝗏𝗃 moved to come grab it. I saw where he was about to step. Stop where you are. Don't take another step. He looked confused. I grabbed Toga's knife from my desk where she left it and threw it. Todoroki flinched as it went hurling towards him, but it landed where he was about to step, setting off the trap. The knife instantly snapped in two. Sorry, Toga. I'll replace your knife. You can step there now. The trap has been used, so I have to reset it. There are 3 other traps around the room. Let me deactivate them really quick. I went to my weapon 𝗧𝗵𝗲 and unlocked it. If it wasn't locked, Spinner would get in here and add to his collection. I grabbed 3 full blades and threw them at each trap with perfect accuracy. As each blade snapped, my smile grew wider. Stain would be proud. Why do you need all of these weapons and traps? Also, how does someone our age have that much accuracy with knife throwing? I locked the crate back up. The answer is villains to both of those. I was raised with them. Simple as that. Now let's look at the file. I should be getting a confirmation call soon. He went to the desk and saw the 3 files. He grabbed the one labeled Shoto Todoroki and began flipping through it. His eyes widened with all of the information I had gathered. I, on the other hand, grabbed the small wrapped box that 𝗬𝗲𝗍 left me. I unwrapped it slowly. I don't know if this is one to be trusted, so I made a shadow wall to protect Shoto in case it burst to flames like the first one he gave me. It didn't. Instead, I saw a picture in it. One after he had ran off, but before he dyed his hair. I had lowered the wall unconditionally and Shoto saw the picture. Before that, I pointed to the file for 𝗬𝗧, turned into that. I pointed to the 𝗬𝗲𝗍 file. So you're saying you see him every day? I nodded. I expected more rage. Is he okay? You both asked about each other. How cute. He's doing well. He is the one that cleared everyone out so you could come here today. As you can see, he goes by 𝗬𝗲𝗍 now. And he calls you Shifter. So either he knows something about you that no one else knows, or you two get along really well. He began to flip through the other files on the desk. A little bit of both. He's seen me without makeup and hair dye. You know, when I told him Stain attacked you, he got really worried. Why'd you tell him that? He asked about you, so I told him about how much you've grown from before the Stain attack. He won't tell anyone. I trust him. Is he that trustworthy as a villain? He is suppressing the anger he has. I can see it now. Don't be mad at him, to. He isn't a villain just to be one. He is fighting against false heroes. He wants those who are in it for fame, money, or anything other than to good for the people to step down. He is fighting for good. Maybe not on the side many view as right, but he is a hero in his own way. So is a lot of the others here. So don't be mad at him. This kill count says otherwise. So he had a panic attack and his power got out of control. Happens to the best of us. He had on the other day and I was the only one that could calm him. Can I see him? There is still a hint of anger in his eyes, but I'm guessing that's more at the fact that his dead brother is alive and he didn't know it. Let me see if he would allow it. Not many of these people want to see someone who is fighting to become a hero. I opened my desk drawer and pulled out my secondary phone. As I was about to call him, he called me. Hey Shifter. Is little bro gone yet? No, and he wants to actually see you. After a minute of silence, he spoke again. Of course he does. Listen, if I come back, everyone will follow. Would just talking to him be enough for him for now? He said he'd talk to you. Seeing him in person is not an option right now. Fine. Hand me the phone. He agreed. After you finish talking, hang up. I'll call you when it's safe for everyone to come back. Thanks, Shifter. Hand the phone over to Todoroki. Hopefully he doesn't burn it. He's holding it with his left hand. I wait for the phone to be handed over to my little brother. This is the first time I have talked to any of them in so long. I'm a little worried. Toga, stop chasing people. You can't just stab them without permission. She is such a psychopath. Not the words I expected to hear when talking to the dead for the first time. My ear is now broken too. Sorry. I'm surrounded by psychopaths at the moment. He sounds so bored. I'm nervous, yet he is bored. What did you expect from a group of villains? Todoroki, be nice. Did that brat put me on speakerphone? I don't want Krusty to hear my conversation. Shifter, let him be rude. I deserve it. He said to let me be rude. I'm not being mean anyways, that was a joke. Well, your tone didn't sound joking. Remind me to help you with your social skills later this week. I doubt 𝗧𝗪𝗧 would let just anyone talk to him like that. He must consider Shifter a really good friend. Dabi, when do we get to go back? It's getting boring over here. You'd be doing the same thing if we were there, so leave me alone, you stupid lizard. I'm on the phone. The lizard left. Sorry about that. They really didn't want to leave the bar today. Why not? This place is a mess and your leader is crusty. Yeah, that's the word. No offense to your father Taka, but he is crusty. I heard laughter coming from the other side. So how's the other two holding up? Shifter wouldn't let me get a look at their files. Or yours for that matter. Only the two that pertain to me. They are doing fine. 𝗵𝗲 takes care of us and 𝗬𝗪𝗀 goes to hang out with his friends a lot. Same as before everything. I figured as much. What the heck? I said I don't want this stuff. Why did some just appear on the desk? You may not like it, but I love this stuff. I could drink it all night. He can. I've seen him do it. Came back from wherever the hell he went off to, grabbed a bottle and sat there drinking it the whole night. Asked to join, he told me to get my own and pointed a knife at me to get me away from his bottle. You pointed a knife at him over some alcohol? He was going to take it away from me. I claimed it, so it was mine. You have a problem. What if one of our classmates wanted some? I only know of one that would like this. Actually, I know that he loves it and he is definitely not going to try and take it from me. Not after what happened last time he did. Yeah, Shifter is a beast when it comes to fighting. You should have seen his fight with 𝗬𝗧. I've seen him fight before. Of course that fight was, well, it was something else. I have no idea why he was taunting 𝗧𝗪, but he was. Actually, now that I think back to it, 𝗧𝗪 gave him a blade after he asked for it. Why did 𝗧𝗪 give you his blade? So he knew 𝗧𝗪 well enough at that point that he was trusted with one of 𝗧𝗪's blades. They must have planned a course of action if they were to meet up without scheduling it. Why would he give you a blade just because you asked for it? You don't lend your weapons away to the enemy. It makes no sense. That'd be like saying, here, I don't need a win, so let me give you my things to use to kill me. Maybe he wanted a fun fight. He won with one blade and I had fun fighting him. I better step in before they start fighting. Hey 𝗧𝗪𝗧, how long do you plan to stay there? I'm assuming you already got a look at the files you wanted to look at since you know who I am and everything. I don't plan to stay too much longer. I need to get home before he does. If I don't, I'd need to come up with a lie about where I was. I can't go home and say, I'm done hanging out at the League's hideout. Yeah, you might want to go now then. He just left the office. If you go out through my bedroom window, run straight till you reach the store, cut through that alley, jump the wall, and head straight, you'll make it home before he does. Thanks. Taka, which one is his room? This way. Thanks Dabi. Gotta go now. He hung up to race him home. Guess we can start heading that way. Come on guys. If we start walking now, by the time we get there the kid will be gone. Why not wait for him to leave then take Kuroji's portal? Toga asked. Do you really want to work the poor barkeep that much? They all shook their heads no and began to walk towards the bar. So I've had this idea in my head since before the confirmation, so I'm glad I finally got it down on paper. Figuratively, of course. Time skip gods have blessed us again. I was hoping to go against All Might with this exam, but I was not selected. I'm sort of glad though, because I'd have to work with Bakugo if I was selected. Instead I'm going against Aizawa with Todoroki. Our plan is to keep a shadow in front of us. If it goes away, that means he sees us. At that point we split up and run, activating our quirks to see if Aizawa followed us. Whoever he doesn't follow heads to the gate. Of course I have different plans. The shadow shrunk back to the wall. Todoroki nodded and dashed away. I went into an alley and waited. Trying to activate my quirk, I can tell he is still watching me. If you're not going to capture me, just get down and fight. I want to see how well my training is paying off. You are an odd one, Takahashi. Okay, I'll humor you. He hopped down from his perch on the roof and swung at me. I expected that and dodged. The fight lasted a while. I have no idea how much time passed. I could tell at the beginning that he was holding back, but after I landed a few hits on him, he quickly changed his style to not holding back. I was watching Takahashi fight Aizawa with Recovery Girl. I had already passed my match, but Todoroki and Takahashi were still at it. Recovery Girl told me that after Todoroki found out that he wasn't being chased, he turned back around to find his partner instead of heading to the gate. From the looks of it in the screen, he is hidden somewhere watching the same fight as me. Aizawa is struggling and Takahashi is not holding back. Aizawa doesn't even have his quirk activated, but Takahashi is still using his fist to fight. Something about his fighting style doesn't feel right. A flip back made something in my brain click. Oh my god. The way he moves reminds me of 𝗧𝗍𝗏. When 𝗧𝗍𝗏 was dodging an ice attack, he moved like that. I looked over to Todoroki and he seemed to realize too. Takahashi is fighting like 𝗧𝗍𝗏. Is everything alright, dear? Yeah. I just remembered something. Takahashi used his shadows to put cuffs on Aizawa and finished the exam. At the fight, that was a fun fight. Felt like it was lasting too long though. I don't think Todoroki was heading to the gate like we planned. Oh well, we passed. I'll see you later, Aizawa-sensei. With that, Takahashi walked to the gate and left. That kid is strong. It's terrifying to think that if I hadn't have been using all of my speed and strength, he could have easily won. Aizawa was worried. Not many kids are strong enough to take on a pro hero with ease. Todoroki, on the other hand, was leaning against the wall of the building, shook. He had only met 𝗧𝗍𝗏 once during a fight, but he would recognize those moves anytime. Those are the moves of the killer. Moves like those are strong to learn by memory. He was almost certain that one of the few people he trusted was training with 𝗧𝗍𝗏. It would explain how he was able to be casual about the whole fight. Even an expert swordsman would have a strong time keeping up with 𝗧𝗍𝗏, but Taka kept up with ease. It was like they had fought before. So you guys have met 𝗧𝗍𝗏? As Todoroki was deep in thought, he hadn't realized that his teacher had came up behind him, or that he was voicing his thoughts. During our field training, we had fought him. I am ashamed to say that I had done so without permission. Well, I can't punish you. Telling Endeavor would be pointless as well. All I'm concerned about is that last part you mentioned. Come to my office and tell me everything you know about Hyde Takahashi. And you talked with this Dabi person? Todoroki has been telling Mr. Aizawa everything, including the visit to the hideout. My brother, yes. I let my emotions get the better of me. I shouldn't have done it, but just the thought of talking with 𝗬𝗧. I'm not mad at you about it. I understand your reasoning. What concerns me the most is you were at the hideout, talked with a villain, and Shigaraki was there. You could have been hurt or forced to stay. I also find it shocking that they cleared out for a student. Taka made sure to ensure my safety during the visit. Well, at least you are safe. Just don't go there again. No matter what is offered. You may have gotten out safe this time, but I don't want to have to go rescue you, or any of you for that matter. I don't think Taka will allow the League to take any of us hostage. He seems to have a rather large say in what happens at the base. Aizawa sighed. Something must have happened after the USJ incident if he really does have a large say. I think it has more to do with the 𝗧𝗍𝗏 thing. According to Taka, most are there because they want to work with the group that raised a survivor of a 𝗧𝗍𝗏 attack. Todoroki explained. Well, if your theory is right, the only reason you three survived is because of Takahashi's relationship with 𝗧𝗍𝗏 himself. That also means that the class may have been right about the boy. Todoroki remembered how even he was skeptical about Takahashi's loyalty. Now some of that suspicion is coming back. Could his friend really be a villain here to gather information? Actually, I think I may use you for something. You said he gathered a lot of files, right? Yes, sir. Aizawa began to explain his plan to Todoroki. But isn't that a bit risky? It is, but I'm confident that you will be able to pull it off. Todoroki was nervous. Could he really pull that off? If so, then this could jeopardize his friendship with Taka. What if you're wrong? What if I'm caught? I have a plan for that. You're not going to be doing this until next week. By then everything will make sense. Todoroki nodded. I'll do my best, sir. In truth, Aizawa knew that the kid wouldn't be able to do this without getting caught. He just needed to gauge how Takahashi reacted. Oh, what a lovely day to be lazy. A week came and passed. Todoroki was going to the hideout with Takahashi. Yesterday Aizawa gave Todoroki an emergency button. If things turn south and Todoroki begins to feel like he can't escape without help, he will press the button and his location will be texted to Aizawa immediately. If that happens, Aizawa and a few other teachers will go get Todoroki to safety. He was also rigged with a microphone that was set to turn on with Aizawa's computer. When class ended and the boys left the school, Aizawa turned it on. Don't worry. They left again today, so you are safe. I don't know why we couldn't just study at your house though. Your father seems to like me, so it wouldn't have been weird or anything. When your father likes your friend more than you, it kinda makes things awkward. I prefer your father hating me to listening to my father spend an hour talking to you. Takahashi held his hands up in surrender and laughed. Okay, I get it. I'm not complaining or anything. Plus it's good for them to get out some. They will be soon anyways. Takahashi muttered the last part. What was that? Oh, I was just saying that Toga has been looking kind of pale. She really needs to get some sunlight. Todoroki knew that wasn't what the teen beside him said but didn't press for more information. Okay, we've reached that point. 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗄𝗏. I know how to get there from my house. I don't think I need a 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗄𝗏. If you don't go in with a 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗄𝗏, Shiggy will get mad. I don't think you want to see him mad. Todoroki sighed and put on the 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗄𝗏. He hated losing control of one of his senses. About 3 minutes later they walked through the door. Takahashi tore off the 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗄𝗏 and tossed it to Shigaraki. He was once again sitting at the bar, glaring at the sight of the outsider. Come on, Todoroki. Let's go to my room. I had Dabi deactivate all of the traps before he left, so you don't have to worry about where you step. That was a little comforting for the hero in training. Seeing what those traps did to those knives spooked him a bit. Half an hour into their studying session, Todoroki asked his friend to go find him a non-alcoholic beverage. The teen agreed and left Todoroki alone in the room. Todoroki took this chance to do what he was told to do. He went to the filing cabinet and looked for the drawer that held the file he was told to retrieve. When he looked, though, he didn't see it. There was none under that name. He looked in the drawer for the letter of his first name. It's not there either. I figured you may be here for more than studying. Todoroki froze. Aizawa, who was listening in, began to record the conversation. You know, you could have just asked. Who are you looking for? Should I tell him or give up? Those were the words that was going through Todoroki's head at that moment. Come on. Tell me. I'll get you their file. Izuku Midoriya. The glass in Takahashi's hand shattered. Did Bakugo convince you to find information for him? No. I just want to know why Bakugo is dead set on finding him. If Bakugo hates him so much, then he must have something about him that makes Bakugo want to find him. I'm sorry, Todoroki. I don't have a file on him. All the information I have on him is up here. Plus, if I did have a file, I wouldn't let you see it. Midoriya doesn't want to be found. Then at least tell me this. How long have you been training with 𝗧𝗍𝗏? During the midterms I came back in case you needed help, but I saw you fighting Aizawa. It didn't take long for me to recognize the moves you were using. I knew you'd find out. After we fought, 𝗧𝗍𝗏 decided I was worthy to train as his successor. I agreed, but I'm not going to kill heroes. Just wanted to learn some more combat skills. Aizawa stopped recording. He got what he needed. I think you should remove the wires now that your buddy is done getting what he needs. Let's have a talk between the two of us. Both Todoroki and Aizawa froze. How had they been caught? They were careful to not let him know. Todoroki checked and no wires were showing. How did? You stretched earlier and I saw the wires. I assume Aizawa or someone similar is on the other side listening in. And if that is true, I assume that I am no longer allowed to show up to school. Now remove the wires, Shoto.